Welcome back. So today we are going to go through discriminants. Discriminants is basically the expression underneath the root sign or the square root sign in your quadratic formula. Okay, so that expression that's underneath the square root is basically b squared minus 4ac. Okay, that is what I use to find my discriminant. Okay, another way that you can kind of write down discriminant is this triangle here. Okay, just a little background info. Discriminants are basically something that helps us to identify the number of solutions from a quadratic equation. Okay, in the last few lessons, I talked about how quadratic equations can have two different solutions. That is true. However, quadratic equations can have more than at most two. Yeah. So here you go. A quadratic equation can have, like we looked at before and you're used to, there can be two solutions, meaning that x can equal two different numbers, or it can, the x can equal to just one number, so x is equal to 4, and that's it, because 4 is what they share. Or, surprisingly enough, it can equal me to no solutions or 0. Okay, so again, quadratic equation can have 0, 1, or 2 solutions. Okay, now something important to note about discriminants is that the discriminant formula is the stuff that's in that red box, right? Discriminant equal to b squared minus 4ac. Now, the 3 dot points that I put down there is basically if your discriminant is equal to 0, then that means you have one real solution, so x is equal to just one number. If the discriminant is greater than 0, that means x can equal me to two different numbers, so two real solutions. If the discriminant here is less than 0, so it gives me a negative number, that means that there are no real solutions, so 0 solutions. The reason why it's 0 solutions or no solutions is because if I were to put a negative number inside a square root, so for example, this here, square root negative 5, if I put that into the calculator, it gives me an undefined, meaning that I don't have an answer for that. Okay, at the moment, you don't have an answer. But if you're interested, let me know. All right, so let's go to our examples really quickly. Okay, use the discriminant, determine the number of solutions for these quadratic equations. Whenever you get asked for finding the discriminant, it's just basically not finding x, it's finding how many solutions do I have in the quadratic equation. Okay, just like quadratic formulas, all I'm going to do first is, which is a really, really good skill for you to do, is write down what a, b, and c is. Just like in quadratic formulas, a here for x squared plus 5x minus 3, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 5, and c equal to 3. Once I've done that, I am going to write down my formula. So discriminant equals to b squared minus 4ac. Here, simple substitution. That's it. Yeah. So b is equal to 5 squared plus minus 4 times, mind you, between the 4a and c, there's an invisible times in between. Okay. So 4 times my a is 1 and my c is negative 3. Anytime that I have a negative, I put in brackets. Okay. So that then my calculator can do it correctly. So I'm just going to put that into calculator. 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 3 gives me positive 37. Okay, so my discriminant is equal to positive 37. I'm going to look at my notes here. If my discriminant is greater than 0, then that means I have two real solutions. Okay, So that means what I'm going to do at the very end, if it stops glitching, there you go. I'm going to write down, don't know what happened there. I'm going to write down, therefore, there are two real solutions. Meaning for this particular quadratic equation, this one here, it can have two different x values. Okay, next one right here, 2x squared minus 3x plus 4 equals to 0. Once again, same thing. I'm going to find what my b, what my c is. My a is 2, my b is -3, and my c is +4. I'm going to write down the equation again. Okay, the reason why I asked you to write the equation so that you don't make silly mistakes, as well as it's practice for you to remember the equation. Substitute. My b is -3, so I'm putting that in brackets, whole squared, minus 4 times 2 times 4. There you go. Put that into the equation, put that into the calculator. Okay. 4 times 2 times 4. There you go. Should gives me -23. My discriminant here is equal me to a negative number, -23. What did I say from these 3 points? If the discriminant is less than 0, that means there are no real solutions. Okay. So I'm going to write it down. Therefore, there are no real solutions. That's it. Last but not least, x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals to 0. Okay. All I'm going to do, same thing. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 6, and C is equal to 9. Then I'm going to just write down my formula for discriminant, which is that. Substitute b squared was going to be 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9. Put that all into the equation. Sorry, not equation, calculator. I'll put it down, and it should give me 0. So if my discriminant is equal me to 0, if I were to look up back from my notes before, if you've written it down, if the discriminant is equal to 0, that means there are one real solution. Okay, that's basically it about discriminants. Okay, it's really easy. You just use the formula, substitute it for what B, A, and C are, give you the answer, and then just figure out if it's equal to 0, that means there's one real solution. If it is less than 0, then there are no real solutions. If it is greater than 0, then two real solutions. Very simple. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, rewatch it as many times as you want until you understand it. But other than that, I'll see you soon. Bye.